Good morning. Please rise in body or spirit as we have our opening music, gathering music.
My hands are strong enough, they're strong enough, and I'm good enough. My hands are strong enough to give love. My arms are long enough, they're long enough, and I'm good enough. My arms are long enough to give love. My heart is wide enough, it's wide enough, and I'm good enough. My heart is wide enough to give love. My light is bright enough, it's bright enough, and I'm good enough. My light is bright enough to give love. My heart is wide enough to give love. My arms are long enough to give love. My hands are strong enough to give love. So this is probably a new one for some of you. We've done it once before, but it's repetitive, so I believe you get it pretty quickly. Be open for something wonderful to happen. Be open to the possibility. Be open for something wonderful to happen. Be open to the possibility. Do it again. Be open for something wonderful to happen. Be open to the possibility. Aye, 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 aye. Be open for something wonderful to happen. Be open to the possibility. Be open for something wonderful to happen. Be open to the possibility. Thank you.
Welcome. Boy, that's just what I needed to hear right now. Thanks, y'all. All right, well, welcome to the First Universalist Church of Denver, a member congregation of the Unitarian Universalist Association, a sanctuary for spiritual growth, community, and connections. Building the world we dream about together. I'm Mary Rosenberg. I'm co-chair of the art committee along with Linda Bagas. My pronouns are she, her, and our committee will be leading the service today. I'm not sure which is better. I'm gonna go with that. Thank you, I needed that too. For more than 130 years, our church has been offering a liberal and liberating message to the Metro Denver and beyond. And we're glad to continue that tradition with you all today. We extend our warm welcome to each and every one of you who are with us right now, whether you are in our building or joining us via live stream. We're glad that you're making use for First Universalist part of your spiritual journey. For those of you who may be visiting us for the first time, we're so glad you're here. Please help us get to know you and how we can best help you take the next step on your journey by completing the visitor form, either at our welcome table after the service or online if you're joining via live stream. If you do that, we'll make sure you get added to our once-a-week email so you'll know about what is going on here at First Universalist. Speaking of what's going on, we want everyone to know about the way we start the busier part of our church year in September. This year we'll have our annual In-Gathering Sunday and Water Communion on September 7th. We'd love for you to bring a small amount of water from a place that matters to you, somewhere you've traveled to, somewhere in your home neighborhood, or some other special place, and we'll mingle it with the waters of all of our community. If you need a little bottle to collect your water in, we have plenty, so you can pick one up after the service. And that Sunday, if you want to find out more about being a member here, stick around for Pathways after the service. You can ask Nina at the welcome desk in Friendship Hall for more info. It's also a first Sunday potluck after church, so bring something to eat and share. A lot going on. Then the next week, September 14th, Eric's not going to give a sermon. Instead, he's going to answer your questions, any of them. That morning, we'll have index cards here at church, and you can write down any question you've been hoping he'd answer. And time permitting, he'll answer them all. But you have to show up in person. No advanced questions sent via email. Will he have the answers? Well, we don't know. But come on the 14th and find out. I love the unanswerable questions, to tell you the truth. Questions about UU, religion, social justice, philosophy, First Universalist, they're all good questions, and we want to know what you want to know. And then stick around after the service that day for the kickoff of our strategic planning effort, which will inform our church's direction for years to come. There will be food, there will be activities, there will be fun. You don't want to miss it. And now, would you rise as you're willing and able and join in singing, Open My Heart.
Of the Lord, give open my heart, all that I seek, let me be part of the love you give. Open my heart to all that I seek, let me be part of the love give, out of the love you give.
Our art committee here at First Universalist is a quirky, creative, and nature-loving bunch. We want you to know that we will warmly welcome any new members. And as you will see shortly, we hold some passionate views on the power of the visual arts and free expression. A little history from the early 80s on through the early 2000s, the group's main focus was hosting solo shows for local artists from both the congregation and the community. As we eased back into life after the pandemic and moved into our beautifully renovated church, our committee felt strongly about doing more than merely decorating the building. As cracks and breaks in our worldview became more apparent, the committee questioned the relevance of our mission. We knew we needed something a little different, a little more powerful, a statement that addressed our need to fully embrace the power of art, to not only express feelings and portray beauty, but to facilitate action and understanding. So we drafted a new mission statement. The mission of the First Universalist Church of Denver Art Committee is to display art that reflects our church values, social justice, and environmental issues. Our focus is to introduce to our church community those who do not usually have a voice. The exhibitions that we curate these days have shifted from solo shows to mostly group shows. We brought you Pollinators and Garden Focaccia in 2024 and Black History Month earlier this year. The response to these shows, you gotta check out the Garden Focaccia. The response to these shows and related events has been really positive. In order to bring attention to Constitution and Citizenship Day on September 17th, we have a show on view now that we hope will inspire thoughtful dialogue. And then look for our arty celebration of Dia de Muertos this fall, as well as an Earth Day focused exhibition and maybe a kids show too next year. Many of our members also participate in monthly Art Journal community meetings, a group that I facilitate. We are a truly quirky, creative, and nature-loving bunch who love to create, whether we see ourselves as artists or not. Putting words and images together for us is a practice, one where process is more important than product. Our process may be just for fun and sifting through difficult emotions these days, or an observation of nature, and may become a deeper spiritual expression and exploration as well. Sharing our art gives us a way to uplift others. As we meet in community, practice creativity and skills, or plan art shows, we appreciate our process and connection with one another. Sometimes our results will be imperfect. Other times, the art may express immense beauty and joy that actually the viewer can feel. But other times, the art may be disturbing and might inspire viewers to think and do things differently. Bringing art into our space helps to shine a light on this cracked and broken world. And where there is light, may there be hope. All right. So please join me in the words for lighting our chalice. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, to serve human need, and to help one another.
Not at all? Hello? Okay. My name is Letitia. I'm the religious educator assistant today. Naomi is in California. And today we're going to have Angela, Reverend Angela, read our story for the kids today. Thank you very much. She's also my wife, so. Two gold stars for her. Thanks. You're welcome.
So today's story is called Maybe Something Beautiful. I would like to invite all the littles and little at heart to come forward if you'd like to listen and gather together for a story this morning. Maybe Something Beautiful. How art transformed a neighborhood. This is a true story. In the heart of a gray city, there lived a girl who loved to doodle, draw, color, and paint. Every time she saw a blank piece of paper, Mira thought to herself, maybe. And because of this, her room was filled with color, and her heart was filled with joy. On her way to school one day, Mira gave a round apple to Mr. Henry, the owner of the shop down the street. She gave a flower to Ms. Lopez, the lady with the sparkling eyes. She gave a songbird to Mr. Sachs and a red heart to the policeman who walked up and down the streets. On her way home, Mira taped a glowing sun onto the wall, hiding in the shadows. Her city was less gray, but not much. You guys need to see, I see it's up there, but that sun in the midst of all that gray. The next day, Mira saw a man with a pocket full of paintbrushes. He gazed at the wall, looked at her son. He held up his fingers in a square and peered through them. He said thoughtfully. What do you see? Mira asked. Maybe something beautiful, the man replied. Then, just like that, he dipped a brush in the paint. Bam, pow! The shadows scurried away. Sky blue cut through all the gloom. The man's laughter was like a rainbow spreading across the sky. Who are you? Mira asked. I'm an artist, he said, a muralist. I paint on walls. Well, I'm an artist too, she told him. He handed Mira a brush. Then come on. Mira dipped it in the loudest color she saw. Yeah, wee! The wall lit up like sunshine. As the man drew pictures on the bricks, Mira added color, punch, and pizzazz. Soon Mr. Sachs joined in, then came others. Everyone painted to the rhythm. Salsa, merengue, bebop. Even Mira's mama painted and danced the cha-cha-cha. The whole neighborhood became a giant block party until the policeman walked up. Excuse me, he said. The music stopped. Mira put her brush down. They were surely in trouble. The officer cleared his throat, then paused. May I paint with you? He asked. So Mira handed him a paintbrush and the music started again. Teachers and papas jumped in, babies too. Mira and the man handed out brush after brush. Color spread throughout the streets. So did joy. Wherever Mira and the man went, art followed like a string of a kite. After they colored the walls, they painted utility boxes and benches. They decorated sidewalks with poetry and shine, and everyone danced. Together, they created something more beautiful than they had ever imagined. When their clothes were splattered with a million colors, everyone sat down to rest, except the muralist. His eyes sparkled. You, my friends, are all artists, he told them. The world is your canvas. He smiled wide, then pulled everything together in big, sweeping motions. His paintbrush was like a magic wand. When he was finished, Mira added one more bird way up in the sky. Maybe, she thought, just maybe. That concludes our story. We'll sing the kids out.
May your mind be open to new learning. May your lips bring truth into the world. May your hearts know love and your hands do the work of justice as you go your way in peace. As you go your way in peace.
The offering today goes to our church, our beloved community. The money goes to support our wonderful staff, programs, and all the good work this community does and will do. We will now receive our beloved community offering. Thank you for your generosity.
I wanna know you, know where you've been, know how you came through. The sound of your voice, your original sin. Where we are is where we begin.
Cracked and broken and beautiful. Cracked and broken, that's how the light shines through. Cracked and broken and beautiful. I want to see you in the fall of the morning and the last of the evening, unfurled and uncovered. And in the same light, I want you to see me, cracked and broken and beautiful. Cracked and broken, that's how the light shines through. Cracked and broken and beautiful.
I wanna feel where our edges are rough, what our corners are made of. Where you and I start, where we both come apart, where we come back together again.
Cracked and broken and beautiful. Cracked and broken, that's how the light shines through. Cracked and broken and beautiful. When China breaks, it's never the same. When I felt your love, my heart became cracked and broken and beautiful. Cracked and broken, that's how the light shines through. Cracked and broken and beautiful.
I invite you to join me in a time of prayer, meditation, and reflection. To be fully present here and now in this sacred time and space with ourselves, with each other, and with that which is larger than ourselves. We give thanks this morning for all the gifts and blessings of life, for this day of beauty and wonder and mystery of life, for family and friends, health and work, for opportunities to learn and love and grow, for the love and support of others in times of illness or despair. But we remember too that others here in this room, here in this city, and around the world live in poverty, hunger, fear, illness, isolation, violence, and economic insecurity. In the silence of this room and in the silence of our hearts, may we hear the call to a wider perspective and deeper resolve. Today, we want to celebrate with B.J. Abernathy, who is turning 99. On August 27th. And I hope you're watching BJ today from Windcrest. She would love to receive birthday cards in the mail to help her celebrate. You can find her address in Simple Church or ask anyone who has Simple Church on their phone. I am your pastoral care associate for today. So if you need someone to simply listen, to companion you, to be with you after the service, I will be here for you in the sanctuary. May we look with gratitude upon this day for the beauty of the world, for the first radiance of dawn and the last smoldering glow of sunset. May we be appreciative, above all, for the concern and love of those around us, for the exceeding bliss of the touch of the holy, which suddenly awakes our drowsy souls to the blessed awareness of the divine within us and within others. For all of this, and for the countless other blessings present in our lives, let us be grateful. Blessed be.
Good morning. I'm Pam Leckahall. I'm one of the members that Mary referred to. I'm on the art committee, and I also attend her art journaling group when I can. So I do consider myself a nature lover. Not so sure about being creative or quirky, but I definitely do not consider myself an artist. But I would like to give you this short reading that actually comes from the Smithsonian's National Museum of African American History and Culture. They say, visual arts are a fundamental component of the human experience, reflecting our history, our culture, our lives, and the time in which we live. Art can help us understand our history, our culture, our lives, and the experience of others in a manner that cannot be achieved through other means. It can also be a source of inspiration, reflection, and joy. The painting that's currently displayed is one that we actually had at one of our exhibits earlier. The artist is Shawnee Berry, and the title is Aunt Pearl Enjoying the Breeze. Even though she doesn't seem like she has a whole lot of time to spare, she hasn't really kicked off both of her shoes. She still keeps her purse close by. She takes time to tilt her face up and catch the gentle breeze and just seems to embrace the moment. I think it inspires us to be more present in our daily lives, and it just brings me some joy.
Hi, I'm Linda Bagus, and I'm going to go long. Before I jump into most of my topic, I think we need to, I put the word discuss, but I'm just going to tell you. And you all know that's me. So, the Cambridge Dictionary defines art as making of objects, images, music, etc., that are beautiful or that express feelings. Of course, the Mona Lisa is art. The images on the walls of the Valparaiso, Chile are art. This last one shows some lines from a Pablo Neruda poem. Also, our mini quilts were art. What about tattoos? Books, of course, movies, comedy, they all are made to express feelings. And that leads me to my main point. Might the cracked and brokenness of our world make freedom of expression even more necessary? My answer is absolutely yes. Our freedom to express our thoughts and feelings through art is under attack. I've dabbled a little at making art. I love to go to the mountains and sit by a flower and sketch, but more recently I've used art to express some of my political expressions. I found a kindred spirit in Mira Alul, a Palestinian-American artist. I saw this quote on her webpage, and when she agreed to share a couple of photos of her art, she wanted to be sure that our church was sensitive to the suffering of the people in Gaza. I assured her we were very concerned. Her quote captures some of the power of art. I struggle with maintaining my peace as I watch others suffer. The trauma that comes with being part of an oppressed culture runs deep, and I needed to find a better way to cope with living in a world with so many shadows. She continues, my charcoal drawings are an outlet for my darkness and help me create space for some light. I find myself most drawn to exploring light and shadow to create form, end quote. And you can see the emotion in her pieces and feel it. Others will share more about visual arts as powerful forms of expression, but I want to move on to book bans. Notice down there are a few. Groups such as Moms for Liberty have tried to ban hundreds of books. Happily, Colorado has no statewide book bans. However, citizens in some school districts have tried to remove some books. Elizabeth School District temporarily pulled 19 books from its school libraries. They were primarily about LGBTQ, people of color, or both, but a U.S. Supreme, dream on. A U.S. District Court judge ordered the books back on the shelves in April. And like I said, here's a few down here. I was surprised to learn that Colorado had ranked among the top 17 states with more than 100 titles targeted for bans from public libraries. How many of you know how to ban a book? Whoops, sorry, don't wander from the mic. Do you know how to ban a book? Well, Colorado has made some new rules. In May of 2024, Polis signed a law that requires public libraries to have set policies on how to consider banning a book. 3 important ones are: the book banner must live in the library service area. The person who wants to ban the book has their name and address shared. And the procedure must uphold First Amendment rights. Then this year, Senate Bill 63 passed and Governor Polis signed it. It stipulates that only parents or legal guardians of children at a school could challenge a book in that school's library. It would also protect school librarians from retaliation and require that the school challenge policy be transparent and posted for the community. Also, a book can only be challenged once every 2 years. And it's the sponsor of that bill, Senator Lisa Cutter of Jefferson County, said, "It's never been more important to protect the freedom to read. Free societies don't ban books." End quote. But Trump doesn't stop. His executive order titled "Restoring Truth and Sanity to American History" had the truth and sanity, whatever. And if I get carted away by ICE, please search for me. Anyway, they're never going to ask me up here again. Anyway, this truth and sanity policy had the 1619 Project pulled from gift shops in the national parks. Read this book. It is powerful. It is important for everybody to be aware of. However, did you know what Canada has? The Canadian Truth and Reconciliation Commission. And it was focused just on the Indian residential school system, and it gave them the opportunity to share their stories and experiences. But that's not happening in Trump's America. An attack you might not think of related to art is deciding that people were gang members because of their tattoos. I'm disgusted by Trump's efforts to deport so many undocumented immigrants. And I found the story of the Venezuelan Andre Jose Hernandez Romero very moving. He had a couple of tattoos, one on each arm. This was my rendition, but his were similar with a crown and the word mom on one side and a crown and the word dad on the other. He got shipped off to El Salvador because the government said, well, they were Aragua gang tattoos. ProPublica reported that Trump's administration sent more than 230 Venezuelan immigrants to that maximum security prison in El Salvador with no evidence. Trump called these men, quote, some of the most violent savages on the face of the earth, end quote. But ProPublica learned that Trump's people knew 197 of those picked up by ICE hadn't been convicted of any crime in the US. The problem with those men was their tattoos. At least 166 of them had tattoos. Interviews with families, immigration documents, and court records show the government relied heavily on tattoos to arrest those men, even though law enforcement experts told us that tattoos are not an indicator of gang membership. Let that sink in. After much suffering, on January 18th, the men were flown to Venezuela and released as suddenly as they'd been taken. However, our convicted felon president is trying to eliminate freedom of artistic expression. On February 8th, he named himself head of the Kennedy Center Board and said he would dictate programming. He signed an executive order demanding the museum take down any exhibits that divide Americans by race. Many artists are canceling their shows. Season ticket holders are dropping their subscriptions. Happily for us, the Denver Art Museum, find my book, has some very provocative and thought-provoking displays. Closing today is Ken Monkman's History is Painted by the Victors. How many of you have gone to see this? Yeah, it is so powerful. I went there yesterday. It's like, tear my heart out. The first part is more contemporary indigenous experiences. I know you can't see this, sorry. I couldn't get permission to bring one of his giant paintings. Anyway, where am I? But I really do recommend you try to see it this afternoon if you can, because it's fabulous. And then Andrea Carlson's exhibit, A Constant Sky, begins October 5th, and it also challenges colonial narratives in art. But being from Pittsburgh, I like what the Greater Pittsburgh Arts Council reported on April 14th. I'm going to give you a quote here, sorry. "You don't have to like the art that's under attack, nor do you need to even be involved in the arts to be invested. But if you care about democracy, this should matter to you, because when the government controls what can be written, shared, or expressed, democracy is in danger." They continue, "When governments decide what kinds of stories are acceptable, they are not protecting the public, they are manipulating it. And when creative expression is criminalized, it's not long before other freedoms follows. Republicans are coming after books, tattooed people, visual artists, even comedians. Look what happened to Stephen Colbert, but he's fighting back. Two former presidents had things to say, and I'm probably over time, but whatever. President Kennedy said, "We must never forget that art is not a form of propaganda, it is a form of truth." And Reagan said, "The art lies in the heart of our nation and of the heritage we cherish. The freedom we enjoy allows our arts to breathe the spirit of liberty and ennoble, inspire, and nurture us." Now, my call to you, we the people of this sanctuary and listening at home, you need to be the light that escapes in our cracked and broken world. Use your freedom to expression. Write a letter to the editor. Use it to make a poster and go to a protest. Use it to draw a picture and let your own inner turmoil out. The last slide shows a postcard that Karen Pope and I sent to Lauren Boebert. She probably used it for target practice, but she wants to put a bill up to kill all wolves, and so we sent her a postcard saying, "Don't do that with a wolf and a wolf pup." But word is that handwritten letters and drawings catch the attention of the staff and the politician. So write those letters, awaken your fingers, express yourselves. If we don't fight for it, freedom, our freedoms will die. Thank you.
Okay, that's a hard act to follow. Anyway, good morning. My name is Patra, and I come from a family of architects and artists. However, I'm an interior designer, and that's how I got on the art committee and interested in that. So, and as many of you know, I have a son serving time in federal prison for nonviolent drug offenses. Because of this, I have learned so much about prison life and how it affects inmates' lives. Being a member of the art committee at this church and searching for exhibits that have a profound and emotional impression on us when viewing art, I found an organization named Prisoner Express who teaches art via computer in prisons all over the country. The art exhibit, the art committee has had 2 art exhibits with inmate work loaned to us by Prisoner Express in the past several years, and we realize how much art has changed many inmates' lives. After one of the exhibits, I wrote to an inmate, Ken Zamarin, which his art is being shown right now. He not only paints, but he does sewing, and he sends me these presents. And Ken Zamarin, on the bottom of his artwork, he writes 16-year lifer. And he murdered somebody and has been in prison for probably 16 or 17 years now. And I told him he could tell me his story if he wanted to. It had to do with sexual abuse when he was young, and then he turned into a sexual abuser, and it's a sad story, but anyway. I wrote to Ken, and I told him that his art exhibit was in our show and that it sold. He not only learned to paint, but also sew, and you can see some of his work on the screen now. There are other inmates' artwork up there too, whose pieces were purchased by some of our art committee. So Ken wrote back to me immediately and said I was the only letter he'd ever gotten. And we have been corresponding for the past 4 years. I would like to read his statement/biography that he sent with that clown painting right there. This will give you an idea of how art changed and possibly saved his life. He says, "Since my first memories that I was imprisoned, innocence snatched away as if innocence was a merchandise to be given. Insecure and lost, I began to draw. With drawing came coping, yet the memories of the past filled my mentality with melancholies. Not speaking out about these melancholies led me to a life sentence at 16. Physical imprisonment, I quickly realized, was to be quasi-alive, to feel meaningless and purposeless, dead, yet so alive. Without meaning or purpose, I wanted to die. Suicide was constantly on my mind. The memories, the melancholies, the sentence. I burst screaming for help. Now I'm not a victim of the past. Now I am a survivor. Since my first memories of surviving, I learned to read and write and became so free. Art in prison became my paradise. And as you explore some of my art, you will see I do it for the broken. We see and feel the fear, chaos, disorder, confusion, darkness, and hate. We see the love, the kindness, openness, empathy, hope, meaning, and beauty. In memories, love can win." And we have some of his pieces on our table in the, here we go, in the hospitality room, so stop by after if you are interested in the art committee. Thank you.
Please rise and body your spirit for our closing hymn, For the Beauty of the Earth.
Please join us in reading the words to extinguish the chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
In the words of the muralist from the children's story, you, my friends, are all artists. And whether art in its many forms facilitates action, understanding, sustenance, sadness, joy, or self-expression, it enhances our existence and that of those around us. Be open to expressing your creative self. Ignore your inner critic and free yourself to experiment. Be brave. Push yourself to create something meaningful to you. Childe Hassam said, "Art to me is the interpretation of the impression which nature makes upon the eye and the brain. It involves the reflection of light." In the words of Leonard Cohen, ring the bell that still can ring. Forget the perfect offering. There is a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in. Go and be blessed and be a blessing. Be the light that shines through. Thank you.
Yellow is the color of my true love's hair. In the morning when I rise, in the morning when I rise, that's the time I love the best. Blue is the color of the sky in the morning when I rise, in the morning when I When I see her, that's the time, that's the time. Oh, I truly love the best.